bringing you guys to another awesome chapter of these Corona Chronicles Vol.2. You know your girl keeps coming through with these fire-ass comedians giving you nothing but everything that they can on this comedy and these sex lives. You guys, I have with me comic Steve Brown. What's up, Steve?
What's up? How you doing? I'm glad to be on your feet. I'm excited. Let's see what happens.
Thank you so much. So you guys, you know I keep it 100 with my audience. Okay, I did have Steve on and it was fantastic and I had to bring him back. So I do appreciate you sitting down with me again. Most definitely.
Oh, no problem.
Really do. So let's get right into this. If you guys are not familiar with Steve Brown, first off, y'all missing out on a treat, okay? Between the Cereal Bowl Chronicles and his stand-up and these talent shows he's putting on, this man is doing every damn thing all along the way also of having his own scholarship. Like, you are just a jack of all trades, sir.
Hey, I'm just trying to do what I do to keep me and the people happy. You know what I'm saying? So, so much is been given to me or earned, I would say. So why not share the wealth? You know what I mean? So, of course, just trying to keep myself entertained as well as others, and it seems to be working out pretty good. So I'm really proud.
Yeah, with the state of comedy as it is and people not being able to hit the stage, social media has become the stage for so many
Mm-hmm.
comics and developing all these other talents and all these other passions that they love. It's comedians out here DJing, it's comedians starting dope podcasts and new shows,
Right.
clothing lines, all kinds of things are coming from this. So tell us a little bit about your Cereal Bowl Chronicles, which I absolutely love. You guys will keep me in stitches.
Well, the Cereal Bowl Chronicle started with me and my daughter Aubrey. She's very funny. She's just like her dad. And we were just sitting up talking. And I was eating cereal, and we were just tripping out. She's like, "Dad, you ought to do something with that." I'm like, "What do you mean do something with that? You ought to start videos where you just eating cereal and you just talking about things that go on in the media and life and all that." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll try it." And hey, Aubrey steered me in the right direction. So it's been going really, really well. As a matter of fact, it's going so well until now I'm starting to sell T-shirts, Cereal Bowl Chronicle T-shirts. People are buying them, and of course, all proceeds from the sale of my tees and all my merchandise goes to my scholarship fund, which I support HBCUs because I am a graduate of an HBCU. Yep, that's what it is. So yeah, I give scholarships at HBCUs, and I am so proud of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Me being just a fan,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of your stand up one, but
Thank you.
I'm also a fan of your philanthropy. So many people have the option to give back, but don't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You never know what really pushes a person to do so. But the fact that you're doing that and that you're starting something that can eventually be spread about every HBCU in the country is amazing. Um, Kids of color need help. You know what I mean? Not to say that, I mean, we're bright, we earn scholarships, we earn a lot of things, but we can always use an additional source. You know what I mean?
Right,
You can always use that additional recognition to say, you know what, you worked hard enough to get here, and here, let me help you.
right,
Sometimes
right.
it's lacking. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know what the thing is? The thing is, when I started the Steve Brown Scholarship Fund, I kept in mind that a lot of people do award scholarships to
Mm-hmm.
get people started,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes that scholarship runs out and they can't finish. So I was like, you know what? Well, let's do the scholarship thing and let's bridge the gap as far as the financial difficulties ending, finishing school, because there are a lot of kids that are out there who are making the grade
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing well, but they don't have the money to pay that final bill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the Steve Brown Scholarship Fund kicks in and we bridge the gap. And we've graduated a whole lot of kids, and I'm just really proud of that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we're trying to finish strong.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So the state of comedy right now, I wouldn't necessarily say it's in an uproar. I would say maybe at the beginning of the pandemic, it was a little bit crazy, but so many things have happened now. The world is beginning to open up again.
Hmm.
The passing of Tyler Craig, so much in the comedy world has gone down. Like, what is your view on the way comedy stands right now, or where do you see it going post pandemic?
Well, right now it is still slow. Things are opening up slowly. Like for instance, I have a show this weekend in Baton Rouge. If it happens, because you know that hurricane is out there. But
Mm-hmm.
we are now doing a lot of virtual comedy shows, which are very, very uncomfortable because you don't get the feedback that you normally would with a live audience. So you just kind
Mm-hmm.
of, like you're telling jokes to a camera and hoping that the people are liking it. And then you're looking at the audience to see if they're liking it
Mm-hmm.
and they're laughing or whatever. And it kind of gives you a little confidence. But that's like really um, a very uncomfortable situation, but it's cool for now. And the thing is, sometimes when you get lemons, sometimes you got to make lemonade, and that's what I did. I'm a producing comedy shows at
Mm-hmm.
HBCUs, um, and they're virtual, of course. And I just hire comedians, and we do the show, and it's been going really, really well. So, and of course, not only am I a comic, I'm also a producer. I do comedy shows as well. So, I'm working, and I'm also keeping my fellow comedians working. So, I'm just trying to do things the right way and make sure everybody eat.
Oh
So
yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, I put my hat in on the producer angle also because I started doing the Zoom comedy shows, putting shows together,
that's what's up.
and it's definitely a learning curve there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I was so inspired by Alisa Deacon, what he was doing with the lives, with the
Mhm.
comedy club on the live. Like I thought that was just a dope idea, but
Right.
being able to bring people comedy in that way, I feel like that's something that's going to be staying around. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
now people have gotten so accustomed to not going out, not paying a cover, not having a 2 drink minimum, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they still get that. But I get what you're saying about it being uncomfortable because in the
Hmm.
beginning it was, do you unmute the people? Do you mute the people? Do you let them hear the laugh? Do you let them hear this? It's hard as a comedian when that's what you feed off of. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Well, with me, I unmute people because I want to hear the laughter,
Yeah.
so it won't mess up my timing. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Mm-hmm.
with the quarantine talent show that I created, uh, everything is just wide open. You come in, you showcase your talent, hang out. You can give your opinion on other artists, and it's really, really cool. As a matter of fact, the quarantine talent show is like a big old family now. You know what I'm saying? So that's a really, really good platform, and it's reaching like not only the United States, it's reaching all over the globe because we have people coming in, to join the quarantine talent show from a lot of different other countries, and I'm like, damn, we worldwide, bitch. So
Oh yeah, y'all out
hey,
there, y'all out there.
so again, you just gotta. I always say this: if this quarantine hasn't brought out the hustler in you, something is wrong. Something
Yes,
wrong. You know what
yes.
I'm saying? 'Cause like I said, I've created with just for myself and others, the virtual comedy shows. As a matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, I have one at Miles College on the 4th, I think, and then we go to Stillman College and a couple other colleges. I pitched it to Grambling and a couple of other HBCUs. So
Yeah.
it's pretty well. And then of course we got the quarantine talent show where people just come on and just showcase their talent. So just making it work and at the same time keeping yourself relevant,
Mm-hmm.
to those who really support you because we all know it's harder to stay relevant than to become relevant. And
Yes.
right now, with the way things are going in social media, it's not about talent anymore. It's about relevancy. It's not about,
Very
I'll
true.
say it again,
Very
it's not
true.
about talent. It's
Very
about
true.
relevancy. Because I'm sure that you've gone to a lot of comedy shows and the so-called relevant comics that you
Mm-hmm.
see
Mm-hmm.
on social media, they
Mm-hmm.
be awful as fuck. But then
Yes.
again, you see those that you don't know, they be enjoyable, they be talented, and that's just the way the business is now, with
Mm-hmm.
social media. It ain't about how
Mm-hmm.
funny you are no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how relevant you are. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if that makes sense.
It does.
Funny,
It does.
funny alone don't cut it. Yeah, I'm blessed to be funny. God knows I am. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's going to go back to live shows eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But just working, just going through this relevancy
Mm-hmm.
thing is also destroying the business because you got a lot of comedy club owners who are booking these so-called relevant people
Mm-hmm.
or the people who are hot on IG and Facebook. and then they don't deliver. Now you got a packed house, but now your packed house is mad, and they don't want to come back because it's some of them first experience of stand-up comedy, and they see that trash and they be like, oh, is this it? I ain't never going back to a comedy club. And it messes it up for the real authentic comedians, you know?
Yes, most definitely. Me being a fan, I see so much, but then in doing my job, I see a different piece. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I'm backstage and I hear the conversation and I see the processes people go through. What's very interesting to me is I don't think a lot of people respect the process that stand-up comedians go through. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking you guys by no means, the social media comics, the people who do sketch comedy, not by no means, because you all spend how many man hours it takes for you to give me that 1 minute video. Probably took you a week in man hours, you know what I mean, to make that happen and to edit and to get it right. So I get that, but the process of developing your set, getting in front of people, making it pop, you know what I mean? It is very few that I feel like can crossed over and hitting that switch. Say like a Ryan Davis will kill you on stage, you know what I mean? But some other people just don't have that same tenacity. I'll use that word, tenacity, when it comes to the
but
craft.
You know what the thing is, with Ryan Davis was actually a comedian, but he just did the social media thing and got popular via social media, you know, but there are a lot of them that, this is the problem that I had with social medians. I call them social medians. This is the problem that I have with a lot of them. They will put up a funny skit and it's gut busting, funny as hell. But then they put up under their little the information that they're comedians and they never been on stage, they never wrote a joke, and people are fooled by it. Oh, that's comedian such and such and such and such. And then when they get on stage, they are god awful. Now, like I said, the people that's never seen comedy, you know, they are fans of these people on social media and go see them in person. They be like, oh, that's some bullshit. I ain't never going to see comedy.
Yeah, they think that's the standard.
They think that's the standard.
Yeah, they think that's actually the standard.
It's just, again, relevancy. So it really hurts the business. It helps the club on his pocket for some quick money. But then again, as far as longevity,
I would say only sometimes, because social media numbers doesn't always equal ticket sales. You know what I mean? Social media numbers. And I say that because most people who have millions of followers, all your millions of followers aren't right in DC when they have that show. You know what I mean? So let's take the people who do only want you for that minute. They might not be ticket buyers.
Right.
You know, most folks ain't out buying tickets, going to comedy shows. You know what I mean?
Exactly. A lot of people who see us on social media, they feel like, well, shit, I didn't see them on social media, so why am I buying a ticket? It's like that as well, you know. So you know, it's kind of like you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. But a lot of this is for us. This is for me because I love to entertain. So, and if I can help somebody along the way, that's fine. But we do go through a lot of obstacles. People think that, you know, being a comedian, it's just like, well, you know, hey, they're comedians, so everything is funny to them. And you like, bitch, that's a lie. Because trust me when I tell you, the behind the scenes of stand-up comedy, you will be surprised. It's like the rap game. It's like the rap game. I mean, niggas are getting knocked out. I didn't knock out a few niggas. I ain't gonna even lie to you. So, and people know it. That's a known fact. So it's just what it is, because people can be disrespectful. They can be raunchy. They can be conniving. They can be snakes in the grass. And you know, hey, it is what it is. And now that I've gone through my trials and tribulations of the business, I know how to move. You know, my biggest trial was when I first got into business. You know, I was mentored by Ricky Smiley.
Okay.
Love Ricky Smiley. Oh my God, I'd do anything for Ricky Smiley. Niggas snuck on my couch. Oh, he knew my mama ate at my house. But that same brother blackballed me in the business behind my back, and I ended up homeless. And me and my son ended up living in my car for like a whole week and a half. That same brother. So you know, I came out of that. God brought me out of that, but at the same time, I was bitter in the business, and I had no tolerance for nothing. So, you know, and so instead of me working myself through that and praying through it and all that, I was literally knocking niggas out. I was literally fighting people. And I had to really, really pray that thing off me. It happened to another a veteran comic. And to this day, he is still bitter. If you mention Ricky's name, he gonna lose his mind. He ready to
Oh
fight.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
so,
So let
so
me ask you this. What
mhm.
advice would you give to a comedian in that position on coming to the other side of it? Like, what would you say that they've been in the business? It could be something, I know people get a very, very up in arms about folks stealing jokes and things of that nature.
Mhm.
Stealing, you guys, I understand. Okay. I
It happened.
understand. Please don't leave no crazy
Oh,
comments.
hold up.
I get
Hold
it.
up.
I get it. But what
Let me
advice
say
would
this.
you give to get to the other side of it?
All right, let me say this. Let me touch on the stealing joke thing. Okay. When you hear a comic say that dude is a joke thief, he stole my joke.
Mm-hmm.
Just hearing that sounds so minute and petty. Nigga, that's a joke. Let me break that down to you.
Yeah.
That's like how somebody eats. I'll give you a perfect example. You are
Yes.
working at a big ass company. All right. The person next to you in the next office, they are also there, but they are like bullshitting the whole time. You come up with this $1 million idea to get you and the company paid, but this person leaves their office while you're at lunch, steals your idea and take it to the company manager. Now all of a sudden they're a millionaire and you are sitting there. It happens in our business all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And guess what? The so-called bigger name comics, the real comics, those are the ones taken from the ones that's not so big, who's not so relevant. That's why it's so hard for comics to go higher and higher. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. It happens. So now, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you do a joke, you got a great joke, and let's say Said the Entertainer steals your joke, which shout out to Said Entertainer, great comic. That's not him, but I'm just giving you an example.
Mm-hmm.
He steals your joke. He do the joke, then you turn around and do the joke. Guess what the public gonna say to you?
The public gonna
Oh,
say
you
I
got that
stole
shit
his
from
show.
Said. You got
Mm-hmm.
that shit from Said. But in actuality, he took it
Right.
from you, and there's
Right.
nothing you can do about it. Now, the second part to the question, you asked me what would I do, or what would I say to a person in that position? I would say trust no one and continue to work on your craft. Trust no one because you got to understand in the game of comedy, you have constituents. You don't really have friends. You might make a friend or two along the way, but you
Mm-hmm.
got to remember it's a slippery slope to the top, and everybody's trying to get to the top, and they will do whatever they need to do to get rid of your ass. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just what it is. It's everybody's trying to make it to the top, and it's a dog eat dog situation, you know?
Right. So with the pandemic, I feel like for comedy, it's definitely been a sink or swim type situation,
Mm-hmm.
because now you are really seeing what people are made of. And when you come out of this, the comics who are still standing or who are still being strong and still staying relevant through that are probably going to be the ones who are, getting booked more, having more time,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. Um, do you think that that's going to be the positive change for comedy? Do you think people will humble themselves a little bit more, or do you think it's going to be, people going to be even more greedy at the end of this?
I think that this thing, as far as humbling themselves, I think that is that's really not going to be an issue because
Mm-hmm.
people are who they are. You can't just change a person's personality from who they've always been. They've been an asshole way back then, and
Mm-hmm.
through the pandemic, they're gonna be an asshole afterwards. It's just what it is. It's gonna take an act of God or lightning just to change them. That's just what it is. I think that out of this pandemic, it's showing you who's creative and who's
Mm-hmm.
really not. If a comic was pretty cool before this pandemic, and he's working, he's doing his thing, and during the pandemic, you don't hear nothing from him, nothing about him, nothing he's put out. That's telling you a lot about him. Either he's not creative or he's just lazy, and that's just what it is. And again, I'm fortunate that God gave me the will and the talent to create different avenues to keep myself relevant. At least I hope I'm keeping myself relevant. But if I'm not, I'm trying to be that way, and that's just what it is. You got to keep working.
Well, look, kudos to you, bro, because you are out here doing some things. You are out
Man,
here
I'm
doing
trying to
some
do what I
things, and
do.
then you're also showcasing the talent of other people along the way. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? With these showcases, with these open mics, you never know who's watching. You know what I mean?
Right.
You never know who's going to jump into your live, if even for just a minute. Like I've jumped into your live sometime in the person's voice. I'll be like, what? You know what I mean? And then that makes you want to look them up. That makes you want to follow them. That makes you want
Right.
to see what they have going. They're like, you're helping to build a brand of probably thousands in that process. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I would like to think so, you know what I'm saying? But again, you know, I'm doing this for me. And what I mean by that is if you sow seeds for others, God gonna sow seeds for you in return. A lot of people are so afraid to help others, you know, because they feel like it's gonna get in the way of their walk.
Mm.
What's for you is for you. If you're blessing others, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed, it's written that you're going to be blessed. So I try to celebrate others, you know, but I stay in my lane. But if I can help you in your lane, I don't have a problem with it. I'm still staying focused on what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And hopefully, if they do get to the next level or get blessed, they'll think of me and say, okay, let me bring this brother along. And that's just what it is. That's just the risk you take. And that's not on you. That's on people. That's on people. Because of course people have been helped a lot by their peers to get to the top, and they be like, okay, I'm at the top, fuck them. It happens. That's just the risk. That's the risk you run. But is that a risk that you want to worry about? You can't
Right.
worry about it. You got to worry
Right.
about you, because you
Right.
miss out on what you're doing, worried about what they're doing, or if they're gonna put you on. You know?
Hey, and you know what? You hitting on some shit right there, because even with what I do, it's always important to me to give thanks, show that I'm appreciative, shout
Mm-hmm.
people out, promo, like whatever the case may be. Like, yeah, I had this platform, but then I also got my podcast that's syndicated, and I also got this. So the comedians that, will say, hey T, let me help you here, let me call so and so for you, or I say, hey, can you suggest so and so? Like, people have helped to really open doors and help build my brand. I'm like, hey, and in return, you got it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want a whole commercial? Goddamn, I'll make you a commercial. You know what I mean?
Right,
You want
right,
these
right, right.
radio shows so that if we sell some tickets, hey, come on. I've been at shows selling T-shirts. Like, what you need? You know what I mean? But I think that when you begin to understand that, hey, when you put into people, or when people take the time to put into you, it has to be reciprocated. You know,
Exactly, exactly.
you don't make it to the top on your own. And so many people had this notion that I did this by myself. I came in by myself. I'm leaving by myself.
Self-made. I'm self-made.
And that's not the reality. That is
Right, right,
not the reality. Some of my biggest accomplishments with my show, and some of the biggest names that I've had on my show, have been courtesy of another comedian trusting enough in me, and being okay with me enough to say, you know what, T's a good person.
right,
Sit down and talk to T, or give T this 15-20 minutes, because she's all right. You know what I mean?
right, right, right.
And that to me means more than, at the end of the day, being accepted by the masses, if that
Exactly.
makes sense. If the
Mm-hmm.
masses don't fuck with me, like, I feel like, okay, because so and so I know does have my back, you know.
Right.
So
But you know what? You know what though? I'm gonna tell you something. Also, with this thing of reciprocation,
mhm,
you also learn from that on who to cut the fuck off.
mhm,
Because you got to understand something. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
mhm.
And some people will ride along with you just so they can get out what's for them, but
Yes.
they're not putting anything into you. And when you see that, the first time I see that, I'd be like, all right, bro, we done. Because you got to understand something. I am a natural empath. I love people. I feel what people feel. But at the same time, being a natural empath, you could also get taken advantage of,
Mhm,
because you care so much about people. But I have you know, I have this thing with my discernment now, whereas I'm going to try you to see if you're going to reciprocate what I've done, for you, and if you're not doing it, I gotta let you go, and I'm gonna give you so many times to do it, and that's just what it is.
mhm,
And I mean, because there's a lot of people, they might not have what you have per se, but
mhm.
it's something they can do. Hey, share one of my flyers. Just share a
Right.
flyer. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
I'm putting you on this. I'm doing this and that, and this and this and that. The only time you share a flyer, one of my flyers, is when you on the show. If you're not on the show, you ain't even sharing the flyer. You ain't even sharing the project that I'm doing that's helping your ass. So I'm like, okay,
Hey,
now,
then there's that.
now I see who you are. So now I'm not putting you on any more of my stuff. Oh, Steve acting funny because he ain't put me on nothing else, man. I don't know what I did. All right, let's open up this catalog and let's see what the fuck you did. All right,
See, pulling out receipts.
now I'm pulling them. Let's pull your receipts out.
Pulling out
Okay, I had
receipts.
this show, that show, that show. The only one that I see you posted was the one you on. Okay, but my shows and all this other stuff I'm doing is helping your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. Some people just want that handout. They want to get famous off you and keep it moving. Now, another thing to that, and I don't want to be long with it, but you go on and you see if they're doing something, and let's see if they're putting you on it.
Yeah.
They're doing shit, but they ain't putting you on. They having auditions, and they ain't calling you about it. You know what I'm saying? So and you give a person enough rope to hang themselves. So it is what it is. Again, it's all about reciprocation. Reciprocation. That's how you find out how big your circle is. Find out.
Look, let me just take a minute to shout out all the comedians that have been on my shows. You guys, I appreciate you guys.
I ain't reciprocating shit with them niggas. I don't even like half of them. I'm just kidding.
No, so my shows that I produce, every single comedian that is on there has been on one of my shows, either here with the Love Below or with the Corona Chronicles or through Illustrate Radio. Like anything I do, like, look, come on, which I need. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, I just feel like, and comedian friends that I have kind of feel like, I guess I'm a little bit naive and I don't know the business, and I get that, but at the same time I feel like I'm not going to change me to be a part of the business. I'm not going to lower my standard of myself or how I operate, or me just genuinely being a nice person. Like, I'm going to always be T Gray till the end of this shit. Like, I'm going to always be T Gray. So if so-and-so will give me the time to be on my show, of course I give you the time to come on and help get this money. Like, if anything, y'all should be the first set of people I need to run through this list if I'm building an extra business, if I'm finding another way that, hey, can generate income, especially during the pandemic for everybody. Like, come on now. I get some of the personal things that happen off stage. I do. I see it. I understand.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, at the end of the day, first off, it's enough for everybody to go around. But right now, people just trying to eat. Like, it was different when the world was open and, hey, here's all this money. Shit's getting a little bit bleak. People trying to eat. Right. Cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Let's go eat together. You know what I'm saying? You could do more working together than alone. But that's just me. You know what I mean? Maybe I am a little bit green to this shit, but I'm like, look, this time I'm going to be. I'm going to rock with the people who rock with me, and the people who sit down with me. And I've had comedians at every stage. I've had new comedians. I had people who are solid features. I've had people who are headliners. I had people who fill up mega arenas, and I always just felt like, if you rock with me, if you could take the time, then the least I could do is take the time to promote whatever the fuck you got going on.
Right, exactly. 15 you know what the thing is, I'm happy
sharing my platform.
I'm happy to be on that New Jack list with you. I'm just happy to be on the list. You know what I'm saying? You said you had openers, features, headlines.
I mean, because people at different stages, people look at, sometimes to see who I have, to say, oh,
I'm just happy to be what I mean? I'm just happy to be a beginner.
They have this connotation that maybe I'm bigger because of the people that I have, but at the end of the day, even the big names might shoot me a flyer and say, AT, can you repost this? Of course I will. You know what I mean? Like, that's the least I could fucking do. What you talking about? You know what I mean?
I'm just happy to be the low man on the totem pole on your show. I'm just happy to be that.
Everybody loves Steve Brown.
No shit. Now the hell they don't. They don't. Hey, T, I'm telling you, T, I've been so much about my business and so serious about what I do and how comments really that don't know me really thought I was like an asshole, because I just after my situation that I went through, I was no tolerance with comments. I mean, like no time.
I
So,
mean, but that
so
was
I mean,
understandable because
and
that was
then,
you were in a place of pain.
right,
But
and then when they, but when they get to know me and sit down and talk to me, oh, that's the coolest dude in the world. Yeah, he'll knock you out, but he the coolest dude in the world. I'm like, man,
I don't know no Omega man that ain't cool as shit. I
of
ain't met one
course,
yet that ain't cool as shit.
of course.
Ain't met one yet.
All they got to do is see me, look at that right there, and they already know I'm good. That's it. I look at that one right there. Let me show you one on my chest and on my ass.
I don't have no dollars. I don't have no dollars. I mean, but if you
I'm
need me to get my wallet, you taking some more? That's what we doing today? Is that what we do? Aubrey must not be home. That's what we doing today? We stripping on my show. I've yet to have somebody take some clothes off on my show. You be up first.
Oh, wow.
Man, so look, let's get to the other half of the show, you guys.
Let's make it happen. We are a well-oiled machine. We ready to go. What's happening? Talk to me.
Listen, when I first spoke to you, you dropped so many gems. And what I picked up the most or the gist is the difference between being a real man and not being a real man when it comes to the bedroom.
Right.
And a lot of what you said kind of touched on that. Being raised by a certain type of men, you have a certain type of notion going into the bedroom. What do you think makes the difference between a real man and a man that's full of shit when it comes to the bedroom?
Well, a real man to me is all about the female. He is all about making that session about the female. Trust me when I tell you, if a man goes into the bedroom with the mindset of thoroughly pleasing the female, doing whatever he needs to do, if he give her 100%, she's gonna give him 3,000%. That's just what it is, because now she's earned his trust and she's ready to do whatever, because she knows that, man, this man is taking pride in pleasing me. It ain't about him, it's about me. When women are nurturing, they're very nurturing by nature. So of course, the first time or whatever, if she's just not all out freaking just experienced and this and that, or an aggressive female, she's going to see right then and there, this man took charge. He made sure I was comfortable, and he was a communicator, meaning while I'm making love to you, I'm talking to you at the same time to see what you like, And then once I find out what you like, I go to it 100%. See, the problem with a lot of men, I would say, I ain't no statistician, but I would guess off the top of my head, probably 95% of the men, we have too much pride, and we don't want to ask questions in the bedroom because we got all this man pride. Man, I'm going to try that pussy and this and that, this and that. Maybe she don't want to be banged. Maybe she want the pussy massaged.
Hello.
But guess what? How you going to know unless you ask? Hey, you like this? Okay, tell me, am I going too deep? Am I going, too fast? Just let me know what you want. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do it in a sort of way where you're in her ear, where you're connecting with her mentally. Once you connect mentally and you start asking those questions, she ain't going to be like, what the fuck you asking me this for? She's going to be like, in her mind, damn, he's trying to figure out what I like so he can give me the business. And that's just what it is. Then when you find out what she like and you go 100% on it, she's more than satisfied, and hey, now you're ready to be treated like a king. That's just what it is.
Yeah, but I notice people in general, and I'm gonna say right here, y'all, most are men, but people in general do get very set in their ways, and they have this notion that well, if I'm doing this to everybody else, it's supposed to work with you. But that's just really not the case, you guys. Like, first, you can't eat every pussy the same. Let's just put it out there. You can't eat every pussy the same and suck every dick the same. It just don't work that way. And if you,
I don't know about the sucking dick part, because I don't know about that.
I mean, but I'm talking to the ladies. The ladies understand.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm like, you looking at me. I'm like, wait a minute. Who you talking to?
I'm talking to everybody.
I know I'm in Atlanta, but I'm not of Atlanta. Okay, I'm in Atlanta, but I'm not of Atlanta.
I got you. But no, look, I'm also talking to the audience.
Okay, yeah. Because you got to be careful what you say. Being in Atlanta, like, I don't know if you heard about my accident. About dude hit me from behind, and they like, where were you? And I was like, in Atlanta. I'm like, no, not like that. He didn't hit me like that. I was in my Maserati and he hit me and he hit me
You live
hard.
in the
Oh,
Maserati.
so you can take it like that? No, nigga, I was sitting in my car. So, you know, all I said was I got hit from behind.
No lube or nothing, just
right. And they asked me where I was, and I said Atlanta. I'm like, nigga, like, so you came out the closet? Like, no, nigga, a car accident. You know, so you got to be more specific. You know, but again,
no, like to finish up my thought.
yeah, you messing up.
You can't go into the bedroom with the notion that whatever you did the last time or with the last person, it's always going to work. And you're right when you say some people don't want to have that communication. They don't want to ask. But sometimes it could be ego, but then sometimes it could also be fear that they don't want to ask. Because what if I can't meet your expectation? What if you tell me some shit that I can't do or I'm not willing to do? Then now I know you're not going to be pleased.
Okay, so let me say this. First of all, why am I telling you this stuff that you probably can't do that will meet my expectations when I haven't met your expectation? That's what I'm saying. I have to know that I'm going to make this situation. Look, I'm going to knock out this little bit so I can get a whole lot in the end. In other words, I'm going to go in and you don't have to worry about nothing. I'm going to ask you what you want. Again, men, we got to put the ego to the side. We got to put the fear to the side and go in knowing that, look, this may be a big feat, but I'm going to conquer it. And the first thing you got to do is gain her mental. You know what I'm saying? Once you gain the mental of making her feel comfortable and making her know that it's about her and about her only, she's going to be pleased. Because she's going to tell you what it takes to please her. Now, if you're lacking in certain areas, that means that you're going to have to do more in the other areas that you're strong in. It's just what it is. But you got to always have confidence going into a situation like that. Once she sees that, then she's going to open up for you. And guess what? She may be so open, and she might forget about the fact that, well, man, I came through this to please him, but goddamn it, I'm gonna try. And that's just what it is. Now, at the same time, while she's trying, and that means, and let's say she has this fear factor, I don't know if I could do all this. Now, the man is I'm still making you feel like it's about you because I'm talking you through it. I'm telling you what I want now. I'm telling you what I want because I've given you what you want. I've asked questions. I've taken you there. I've taken care of all the small details. Now, let's see what you can do as far as me, and I'm going to talk you through it. And then now we know how to please each other on the next go round or the next 3 or 4 go rounds. Because if you do it right the first time, it's going to be a second and third and fourth time. That's if you ain't a fuck nigga. If you ain't fuck up in other areas, that's just what it is.
Okay, so let me ask you this. A lot of men on my show do say that being able to reach a woman or get a woman to a certain peak, it is mental. You know, that once you have them mentally, they'll do this, they'll do that. But I feel like getting a woman mentally is not a one-day process. It's not a 1-week process. I believe that takes time. So then do you think that what you said also would apply to one night stand or, you know, just fly by night situations?
Okay.
Like there's no opportunity to get a woman mentally in those instances. Then it's just lust.
Okay, so let's say this. Let's say this. A one night stand, you go in knowing that you go in knowing what she wants, and he's going in knowing what he wants. So we already know what we want to do. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, we just want to have sex. We just want to fuck, get it over with. Now, in some instances, in a one night stand, that might be some of the best sex ever. You know why? Because your mind is free and you ain't really got to worry about pleasing her like that. You both just all out fucking and we going home. I'm not gonna be with you no more. You're not my girl. You're not. You know, that's just what it is. We don't have any type of emotional ties, and that's just what it is because we already know what it's going to be. Early in my career, some of my best sex was one night stands because of the fact that, hey, I don't owe you nothing. You don't owe me nothing. But
no pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
And believe it or not, the reason a lot of men have erectile dysfunction, number one, is because of underlying health issues. Number two is because of stress and pressure. Man, I got to really do this. Girl so fine. I don't want to mess this up. No, go in with confidence, get in her mental, do what you need to do. That's what satisfies her, and you'll be fine. Now, another thing is, men, we also worried about our genitalia, how big a dick. Let me tell you something. I've had plenty of females that tell me that, yeah, a man with a big dick look good on the picture. Mm. Everybody don't want that baby arm in them, and it ain't what you got; it's how you use it. I've heard a lot of female friends of mine say, "Yeah, such and such had a big dick, but he was awful in bed," because you got a lot of men with big dicks.
They don't know what to do with it.
They lazy because they feel like, well, I'm just gonna sit back and do my thing. But you forgot, you gotta please her. Mm-hmm. But now you got the dick all in her chest, and you just laying there, and she ain't getting no enjoyment out of it. You gotta learn this lady. You gotta know. Again, you gotta have communication. You gotta know how much to put in, how much to pull back. Sometimes like me, I said it before. Sometimes I gotta pull all the way back until I'm at the garage. I'm in the garage giving you dick, but if that's what's gonna please you, that's just what it is. One time I had to go back all the way up to across the street. I was in my neighbor's house. We watching games and shit. I'm just doing my thing because you want that female comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Your neighbors walking past the window, like, oh, it's just Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's Steve's day to fuck.
And then for the brothers with, that's not well endowed, you just have to put on in other places where you're lacking with, the dick. Sometimes you got to go far and beyond. Eat the coochie, eat the booty. You got to do all that. I mean, that's just what it is. You got to really be a freak in bed to make her forget that you got a little dick. That's just what it is. So, but you still got to keep her mental. You got to keep her mental. And I'm telling the truth. That's why you got to watch the car while y'all having sex. You got to paint. You got to kill bugs, roaches. You got to trap mice. You got to do all that.
Forget
that your dick is little. That's what you got to do.
Lord, help me from laughing, please, Jesus.
But you know what? But did I lie? Okay, that is.
Oh, that's funny. You gotta make her forget your niggas. That's the funniest shit I heard all day.
Hey, you know why it's the funniest shit you ever heard? Because it's coming from Steve Brown. Did you forget I was funny?
No, not
That's why I'm here. This is why I'm here.
But that is hilarious to me, though, swear to God.
It's the hilarious truth. You gotta do every goddamn thing you can to make her forget you got a little dick. You gotta cook greens. You gotta do everything. You gotta unstop her stool. This is right in the process of having sex. You gotta put her kids to bed. You gotta do all that. You know, pay her taxes. All that. While you having sex to make her forget that you got a little dick. But guess what? Guess when she's going to remember.
Probably gonna be mad. I'm laughing so hard. I'm sorry.
But guess what? But guess when she's going to remember that you got a little dick. When you make her mad, that's the first thing she's gonna say. With your little dick ass. That's why you want to do everything you can to make her forget and not make her mad.
Right, but I can tell you just though, I'm a firm believer that size doesn't necessarily matter, and I know that when I have these conversations with women, the conversation, I'm normally the only person on that side, but I think maybe it's just because my experiences have been kind of following suit to what your other female friends have gone through. Like I've had men in my life who were well endowed, but just did not know what to do, didn't know how to move, or assumed that their size was the only thing that they had to bring to the bedroom and no talent to back it. You know what I mean? And then I've had men in my life that were average and damn near killed me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, pleasing a person to me doesn't boil down to size. We all have a preference. Some men like big old titties, some men like big old ass, some men like big ass lips, whatever the case may be. Everybody has their preference when they step into the bedroom. Whether or not it's going to be pleasing to you is then now up to the situation. Because you can have your preference. If you want a chick with a big ass, you could have that. That don't mean she could take it. You might want a chick with nice ass lips. That don't mean she gonna give you some head. Like, you don't know. It's a crapshoot anytime you go in there. But going into the situation with open communication, going into the situation with an open mind and a willingness to learn and a willingness also to teach,
Exactly.
changes that.
Right.
Yeah, it changes the experience.
You're never too young to teach, and you're never too old to learn.
Most
And
definitely.
another thing I would say, if what makes a successful bedroom encounter, again, that goes with the mental. You know, you can get so much into the mental until you can pretty much act when first of all, when you're in the mental and you're asking this female what she likes. How does she like it?
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually be doing that shit.
Yeah.
So in other words, in other words, you can't come to the bedroom with a big dick mental, but you ain't got what it takes to give her the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you talking about, man, I got the biggest dick, I'm gonna tear that ass up, man. Now in her mind, she thinking, okay, well, let me get ready for this, because this motherfucker might be bringing a baby leg.
No,
It's
total
something
opposite. Because
different.
if a man is talking about it, we already know it ain't no good.
So I mean, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So again, it's all about the mental, but you got to be halfway performing whatever you say. You know, I've gotten to a point whereas I have. I mean, in my experiences, we've gotten so mentally involved during the sex encounter, I can become somebody else. In other words, let's say, so tell me, I know you got this famous celebrity crush or whatever, this and this and that. And this is how I play it. I know that you got this famous, who is your famous celebrity crush? She says, okay, it's JJ from Good Times. I hope Big J ain't gonna say that. But she just says, I'm just JJ. All right, let's not use that nigga. Let's use, hey, give me yours. Give me yours.
Celebrity crush.
Or a celebrity you think is handsome, and you like, man, he can get it.
Man, he can get it.
That's too many niggas. Just one. It's too many niggas.
Listen, I'm trying to think now. Okay, because I don't like nobody.
All right, okay, let's say.
Let me just throw one out there that I know the ladies love. Ladies love Idris Elba.
Okay, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Okay, we making love. I say, so I understand you like Idris Elba, right? And you're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I bet you a lot of fucking honey. This is why we are making love. I'm like, okay, all right. Imagine if I was Idris Elba. I said, tell you what, I'm gonna pull out and let Idris get up in this pussy. I literally come out and I slide right back in and do a totally different stroke.
There it is.
As if I'm somebody else. Now they'll be like, damn. And guess what? Sometimes they'll be like, damn, Idris, get this pussy. They've been lost because you're giving them their fantasy.
Yes. Yeah.
You're giving them. Then sometimes I make it interesting. All right, Idris, you got to get off my lady pussy. Let me get back in here. Then I'll go back to me. Now we are literally having a threesome. Me, her,
a mental threesome. Yes.
You see, a mental, right? So it's all about pleasing. You give that woman her fantasy. I mean, of course, we can't go and get Idris. Hey, Idris, my girl.
Right.
At the same time, women love a good fantasy.
Yes, but you know that brings about security.
Exactly.
A man presenting that as an option has to be very secure in self.
Exactly.
Because most men can go to their sex reel. You know what I mean? Y'all all got a reel. You know what I mean? Halle Berry might be on the reel. Pinky might be on the reel. You don't know. You know what I mean? So, but not all men are secure enough to say, imagine that I'm someone else. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I'm going to tell you something about me too. If I'm making love to you, I'm not thinking about another woman. I'm thinking about how you are reacting to what I'm doing. I'm studying you because I'm making it about you. But fuck anybody else. I don't care how bad it is. I'm with you. If I want to be with you, and I want to continue this on, I'm studying your every move. I'm your every jump. You know, I'm testing what you like, what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we going from there. Now, fellas, let me give you one more tip to that. You notice I said I'm testing, I'm looking at you, I'm doing all this, I'm doing all that during the sexual encounter. That means I'm going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
So if you cannot hold up, fellas, don't try this shit. Don't try it. Now, I'm gonna help you hold up. The only way you can hold up, fellas, is take care of yourselves. You
Yeah.
got to stop eating all this bullshit, all this drinking, because I'm gonna tell you something. The biggest complaint with women is he got his and I didn't get mine. Now, another thing, fellas, and I'm just giving you sex 101 from my experiences. If you
Go on,
feel like
Professor, lay it out now.
no, if you feel like you about to bust, fellas, don't just bust like that. Pull out. Let some of it go and go back in. The dick is gonna stay hard. A lot of niggas like and then pain and then fall on your chest. You're like, what the fuck? This nigga he didn't let everything out. You gotta let some out at a time. Recover while you recovering. Eat the pussy. Do something. Keep
Mm.
her engaged and then go back. I'm
Okay.
I'm just giving game. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shit, where's my notepad? Let me write this down and tell this motherfucker.
Nigga, you emptying too. Look at all this in me. You didn't empty. Now you ain't got nothing. So yeah, so I mean it is what it is. So, you know, and another way that you're not going to come so fast, fellas, is you got to go in with the notion of pleasing her. Pleasing her, not man, I'm getting it. Next thing you know, it just snuck up on you, and you no, nigga, it's too late now. Now she looking at you like this nigga.
Real talk though. Real
The
talk
thing
though.
is,
Yeah.
I'm not a sex professor, but I read a lot. I read a lot, and I've experienced a lot. I'm 53 years old, so
Young man.
I'm sorry.
I said young man.
Right,
Yeah.
and
So let
you
me
know,
ask you, going into the bedroom, do you then feel like there's more pressure on the men to perform than it is for the women?
it's more pressure on the men to perform because they put that pressure on themselves by talking this game that you know you can't back up. There's no pressure at all. When me, I can't say men. I can only speak for myself. With
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm going in there to snatch your soul. Meaning, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get you to a point to where you're super comfortable with me. And after the first or second time, you're gonna be like, okay, let me try some on you. You be like, okay, look at you. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna tell you one thing you don't do, fellas. Don't ever go in there and let the lady take control right off the bat because she gonna fuck you up. She gonna leave her mad because she done made you get one, and now you like, well, I ain't never did that before, nigga. You never take control, especially these veterans. Motherfuckers start riding you from the back or have your legs on her shoulders. I'm like, God damn, that's why I don't fuck with cougars. I had one named Hattie. She had my legs on her shoulder. I'm like, what are you doing?
Shout out to all the cougars that's
I know,
snatching
man.
souls.
I get some. You know, but the thing is, I don't even deal with cougars no more, man, because cougars cheat too. You know, cougars will cheat. I had a cougar. She right here telling me motherfuckers I'm her nephew. Bitch, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You gotta know your place, nephew.
Yeah,
I know
nephew.
your
Yeah.
place. Listen.
So
Public, I'm
you
your
know, but
auntie.
I'm glad I don't deal with cougars no more because I'm 53. That means my cougars got to be 89, 90, dead. You know, just
Hey,
yeah.
but what about when they take their teeth out though?
No, bro, I ain't. Uh. Uh. But
Uh-uh.
real talk though, it's me and we have to make it about the ladies. Got to make sex about the ladies. We'll be fine.
Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it, folks. Professor Steve Brown just laid it out for y'all to play it out. Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay, he laid it out for you guys. Now, I can tell you all this. Don't come across me because I'm coming to snatch your soul too. Okay, I took my notes.
Oh wow.
I've been sitting here. I'm snatching souls starting tomorrow. But
Hey
no,
man, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just trying to keep us fellas from being talked about because you know it ain't always about the humongous dick because a humongous dick can bust like that and then the girl mad again. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's a mental game. It's a mental game that you have to play, and if you want to win it, you got to make it about the female. You know what I'm saying? If she ugly, don't look at her. Just make it about the body.
If she's ugly, don't look at her.
Yeah, do doggy style.
That needs to be just rule number one, fellas. I'm gonna just go ahead and make some edits to the game he putting out. Rule one: if she ugly,
if she cockeyed, don't look in her eyes because you don't know which one to look in. You don't know which one to look in. Just look at the wall. Look at her forehead. That's yeah.
Look at her forehead.
Yeah.
My gosh, I wish that same thing could apply to men. Like, we just gotta close our eyes real tight.
Yeah. women, another thing, let me say this to the women too. Women, it doesn't apply to just men. Mm-hmm. If you are with a man and you find that this nigga ain't shit in the bed, you close your eyes real tight and think about the person that you was with who was the shit, and go and get your orgasm and push that nigga off you. Go get in your car. Don't even put your clothes on. Just go get in your car and leave. That's all you gotta do. Imagine the motherfuckers that you was with that made you lose your mind, and you're going to make yourself have an orgasm. As soon as you have an orgasm, push the nigga off you. Like I said, don't even get your clothes. Just go get in your car and leave. If you call an Uber, you get in that bitch naked, he gonna know something wrong. He gonna know that you were not pleased. Simple as that. Steal his keys, steal his car, go home, and go to bed like ain't nothing happened.
Listen, we done went from bad sex to carjacking. Excuse me.
So women, I can blame women too for bad sex. I can. Women, y'all say a motherfucker is bad in bed, but y'all won't tell him. You tell your girlfriends. How will he know to improve if you don't tell him? And how will he know to improve if you? Let me say something. If you are in love with the man, mm-hmm. If you're in love, you really in love with that man. You know, he can be a bad lover and still get by. He can touch you and you damn near have an orgasm because you love him. Y'all are more emotional. Yeah, he can touch you in a way you can have because you are in love with this man. So if you're so in love with this man, why? And he's a bad lover. Why don't you teach him how to love you? That's selfish in itself. When y'all not teaching the man how to love you.
Let me say this.
Love this man so much.
Let me say this.
Here we go.
Excuse me. Let me get that out first. This I talk about a lot.
Here we go.
You guys already know T. Gray's stance on piss poor sex in a relationship.
What? What'd you say? And what?
I said piss poor sex in a relationship. So I talk about this a lot. My audience kind of already knows I'm a selfish lover. Okay. And I don't have no qualms about me being selfish to the point that even if I love a person and I'm in a solid relationship, if the sex isn't good and I've talked to you and I've coached you and I've helped you and it's still not good, like I don't know how long I'm going to stay.
Stop right there. Stop right there. I know I sound like the pastor. Stop right there. Look, you said the magic phrase or sentence. If I talk to you, if I showed you, if I had a lecture with you, if I did a one-on-one course with you and it's still not good, ain't enough to be talking. I feel you on it. There's nothing else to talk about. But so that's not being a selfish lover. That's trying to get him involved and telling him or showing him what you want. And that is, again, it goes back to part one of what I was saying. It's all about the lady. And if you can't get it, and no, I feel like you're fair because some women ain't gonna say shit. He's not gonna fuck with a nigga no more.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about the women who don't say anything. Okay. And first off, I applaud you ladies. Okay. For staying around. You guys are awesome. But I get what you're saying. And I get that a lot of men think, okay, because you love a man, that makes those other things acceptable and okay. But some women, yes, are in relationships and not having good sex because, hey, this person is good to them. This person is a awesome
Mhm.
provider. This person is smart. This person is funny. This person will give you the shirt off his back. This person, you know what I mean? Make sure that, you're treated like a queen. And it just so happens that the sex is no good. So I get it that that's the notion, that because you love me, you're going to be here and you're going to just deal with it. But because the woman loves that man, it does make it harder to communicate that they're not pleased, because now you got to deal with that man's feelings. Now you got to deal with that man's ego. And so it's so hard to tell
That's
a
not
man.
so. I
It's
respectfully
hard to
disagree.
tell a man that, hey, I'm
I,
not pleased and you're
I
not pleasing to me. It's hard.
no, is
The reaction, you never know what you're gonna get.
I respectfully disagree, because my thing is, if you want it to be good to him, to you,
Mhm.
then you have to show him. You don't have to necessarily tell him, babe, you're not good in bed. Or you got to show him what you want. And then if he loves you like he say he does, and he loves you, he's going to make it happen. Now you're giving him a chance. Now if he's terrible after that, he's just saying, I'm a selfish lover, and you're gonna be here because I'm taking care of all your stuff from this and that. Now, guess what that lady's gonna go and do? She's gonna go eventually find out some good dick
Mhm.
somewhere else. Whether it's the yard man, the plumber, Steve Brown,